Hello, travel experts. Welcome to another AI Tourism Talks. It's a great pleasure to have you here. And welcome to my guest. Thank you for joining us live. And at the start, I would like to just check the setup. Can you see and hear me well? Please comment. And my guest, of course. There are some comments already, but just confirm that you can see and hear us well. This is super crucial. At the start, can anybody comment that? David says yes, okay. And now, would you be polite just to comment from which country and city you are attending this event? Okay, while we are waiting, I will use the opportunity. Everything is fine, great. Everything is fine. I will use this opportunity to introduce myself because this is a new show. My name is Ivan and I'm a founder of AI Tourism Innovator. And I'm here to help you with AI content strategies and content production for travel and tourism. So, there are no buzzwords, not hype, just real AI-powered content strategies production that work in real world. Today, I'm honored to be joined by someone who needs no long introduction in the world of travel. Peter Syme, a global advisor and the founder of Tourpreneur, the largest tour operator community in the world. So, Pete, the floor is yours. If there is somebody here who does not know you, please just introduce yourself shortly.
Sure, thanks very much, Ivan, for the invite to come along tonight and have a chat with all you and your guests. Really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much. So now, my name's Peter Syme. As you can probably tell from my accent, I'm Scottish, but I'm not there at the moment, which you can probably tell from my red face because I'm in the southern Indian Ocean on the Isle of Reunion. So I've been in tourism for decades. I've run multiple businesses in tourism, tour operators in Scotland, inbound and multi-day, inbound and outbound expedition companies, businesses in Morocco and businesses in Spain. Sold up several years ago, and with a couple of partners, we got involved with Tourpreneur, started build Tourpreneur, which Ivan says is now the largest community of tour operators in the world, 20,000, and our growth rates will be at 30,000 within the next year, and we aim to get to 50,000 and above over the next couple of years. My interest in AI goes back a long while. I gave my first talk on AI to 250 travel people in person in 2018, when everybody thought what I was saying was insane, which is not unusual, to be fair. Quite a lot of what I say often comes across as insane, but it was obvious to me, even at that point, we were in for a fundamental shift coming. I was wrong on the timings and I was wrong on how fundamental the level of the shift was, but I seen what was coming as far back as 2018. And since obviously 30th of November 2022, when it hit the waves and everybody started to hear what AI was, tourism has been at the forefront of it. Because everybody who builds anything or uses any example for some reason, which I'm not quite sure, is using tourism as the example. And I'm not quite sure when they're doing that, because we are actually one of the hardest sectors for AI to crack that we can get into, but everyone is using travel and tourism as an example.
Excellent, thank you, Peter. Before we dive into my main questions, I saw your recent post, and I think everyone will love this story now that you will share with us. You shared in this post that the current leisure trip that you are on was fully planned and implemented using AI, flights, hotels, car hire, and even activities. That's real, not theory, right? Can you tell us how did it go, what worked, and what there is still improvement?
Yeah, for sure. So since 30th of November 2022, soon after OpenAI came out with things called GPTs, where you can build your own little tools there. You don't need to be technology. You don't need to be a technologist. You can just build in your preferences in the GPTs. I built out several travel ones the minute I could. I've improved them and reiterated them multiple times since then. I don't have one for travel. I have about 5 for travel. And there's a reason you don't have one for travel. Everybody on this call has different travel personas. You do not travel the same when you travel for business as when you travel on your own for leisure. You travel different when you travel with your family from when you travel on your own. So everyone has different travel personas at different times, depending on what your stated outcome is of that travel project that you're on. The business GPTs I've got are very straightforward and simple, because when I'm traveling on business, it's all about efficiency. I just want to get to where I'm going as fast as I can by the most direct route at the best possible price, be in the hotel that I don't care what it is, it's just a certain standard hotel closest to where I'm going to be working. It's all very straightforward. So I'm happy for AI to do all of that. You have to put in your parameters to GPT, your local airport, first choice, second choice. Do you want direct? Do you want indirect flights? What budget are your flights? And I'm a Scotsman, so my budget's simple. It's always the cheapest. They're just steel tubes to me. I don't care about the brand. I don't care about points. It's just a tube getting me from A to B. I always want my hotel to be within 500 metres of where I'm working, because I like to get up in the morning and walk. So I don't want it right next door, but I don't want to walk 3 miles to it either. So you've got to put in all your preferences. And for business travel, that is really, really easy. And the AI will learn and hone and find these solutions for you really quick. Leisure's different, because when you're planning for leisure, there's so many different things you want to do. Now, normally a leisure trip would take me planning anyway multiple days to a few weeks, often do over Christmas when we're not working as much. Often can take several days, or like I say, a couple of weeks. This trip I'm on now over Christmas took between 15 minutes and 30 minutes. And I didn't go into the detail of the activities, and I'll come to that because of my leisure style. But again, the airports we needed, the hotels, the flights, all the things I class as commodities and don't get excited about, they're just functional, were all taken care of by AI over Christmas in a 15 to 30 minute time. Now, when I say taken care of, it found me everything I needed. It does not yet make the booking. Right? That's coming very soon, but you still have to go to the website to make the booking, but everything was found to satisfaction my needs. Now, is it perfect? Everybody's going to say, is it perfect? Of course it's not. Nothing in life's perfect. Your travel agent's perfect. Your tour operator's not perfect. Your airline company's not perfect. Nothing in life's perfect, so it's not perfect. One of the main reasons it's not perfect is because of us, people in business. If we haven't updated all of our information, where the AI is getting the data from, if it's wrong, it's going to spurt out the wrong data. So simple things like Google My Business, where you've got your listings of your business, your opening times, your menus, your pricing. If that's wrong or non-existent, the AI is going to pull for that stuff. And if it isn't there, it's got a habit to make stuff up. So you've got to be a bit savvy, and you've got to double check this stuff. And some of the time being spent is checking this stuff, because you can't trust it. And the reason we haven't got AI bookings happening in travel yet, when everybody thought they would do, is because travel is super complex. In the back end of all them legacy systems that existed for 30 years, they're really complex systems. And we're having to build a complete new layer outside these systems, talking to these systems to orchestrate all that data to allow us to have a flight. Because you don't want AI booking a flight and it's the wrong flight or the wrong time. So that stuff is actually much more complex than a lot of the demos and a lot of the big ChatGPT, Claude type companies who constantly use travel as an example. It's more complex than that. But from a planning interest stage, it's quite easy to do. And why is that important? Because agent to agent is coming. Agents are going to be booking this stuff on your behalf soon. You're all going to have personal agents, and it's going to be coming soon. Therefore, individuals need to be doing that now, so they're more aligned with agent booking when it comes.
I'm totally related to this story. I'm listening to you, and it's amazing because my official background is in hospitality and tourism, of course. And while we were studying, we learned that in tourism you have more than 20 plus industries together, which is like amazing. I think there is no industry in the world which is combining more than 20 industries within, right?
It's complex. Travel is complex. Yeah.
Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Why do you think AI is becoming such a dominant force in tourism, and yet so many businesses are still slow to adopt it?
First, I wouldn't say it's dominant. I'd say it's dominant in the sense of how many people in travel are talking about it. But is it dominant in action? No, it's not dominant in actually taking actions that are useful for people. But there's billions of people using it, and more importantly, customers are using it. Right? So I was in a botanical garden last week. I think I might have been the oldest person walking around the botanical garden, and I was using AI and it was a really good botanical garden, at the standard really high, but the information was terrible, really poor. And I'm not a botanist. I'm certainly not a botanist in the Southern Indian Ocean. So AI was telling me everything I needed to know everywhere I was looking at, and I thought I'd be the only one. But I seen multiple people under 30 using their phones with AI to get the information they need. So the customers are already starting down this journey and doing it. So I wouldn't say AI is dominant at the moment at all. I'd say it's in the minority, but the implications of it coming and what it's going to do means you should be paying attention to it. The other thing I'd say as well is, because all of this talk, all of this stuff, people pitching AI solutions, anybody who's pitching you technology first, kick them out of the office. And we're in a people business. Travel is a people business. It's not a technology business. It's people, it's ideas, and it's technology to support them. So the people first, always. The people have great ideas about how we can look after guests to give them a great experience. And then it's how do we use technology to help that. Anybody's got it the other way around, they're probably going to take you down a path you don't want to go. Right? We're travel people. Right? We're not born technologists. We're travel. We look after guests. So that's one mantra: people, ideas, technology. The second one is every company approaches me on a daily basis. It's about what AI can do for their travel company. And I always say the same question: have you discovered what AI cannot do for your travel company and will not do in the future for your travel company? Because there's value in gold in what AI will not be able to do. And there's things that AI eventually will never be able to do. Right? It's going to be able to do a lot, but there's things it can't do, especially in travel. And those are going to be incredibly valuable. That human connection in travel is going to be incredibly valuable, and people are going to pay more with higher margins for things that AI cannot do. It's going to take us time to get there. We're going through this transition, but you must discover what AI will never do for your business, because they're going to be at the top of the pyramid. That's going to be your icing on the cake. And then underneath, you're going to build a whole host of efficiencies and strategic things with AI, but there's things that AI will not do, and that you must decide what they're never going to do. Now, that sounds easy. Most companies I've worked with, where we've sat down to do that workshop of discovering AI, most of the things they put down, I'm scoring out 9 out of 10, because a lot of people are thinking it's never going to do this, it's never going to do this. There's a lot of things it is going to do that people are not thinking about. But you must discover what AI cannot do. The other thing I would say is, for most people probably on this call, is we're all small and medium-sized businesses. Right? Tourism, travel company is made up of 90% plus who are small and medium-sized. We have the giants. We all know who the giants are. The giants have the resources. The giants have the teams. The giants have everything they need. Right? We, for the first time in history, have now got the same access to the tools as the giants. Right? For $20 a month, you have access to the same level of power as giants have. Right? Yeah. So this is leveling up, but the giants are still going to be building way ahead of us and trying to get things in quicker because they have teams to build. But anything you hear I'm going to say tonight, or anytime I'm saying, I'm targeting small and medium-sized businesses. That's who I think make the biggest difference in travel and tourism. That who, like, from the community point of view, from the guest point of view, that's the bit I'm interested. So anything I say tonight is targeted small and medium-sized, not giants.
Excellent, thank you. You said before that tourism is especially slow to adapt new tech already. You mentioned that, but why do you think, what is the reason behind
several reasons. Tourism has been booming since I started taking trips to Nepal and various places in the 1980s, way before the internet. Right? And all I've seen since then is a boom. It's never stopped. Yes, we've had disasters. We had the financial crash 2008, we've had COVID, all the rest of it, but it's just growth and growth and growth. And for the next 25 years, it's 4% compounded growth on tourism. No other industry in the world is growing consistently at the level we do. If we stopped marketing any tourism products tomorrow, it would still grow. And if you want to check all that, just look at how many airports are being built, how many forward orders on planes, how many forward orders are on cruise ships, how many airports have been extended. Right? We're going to double and treble the size of the amount of people traveling the world. There's a lot of pain coming with that, obviously, but that's just what's happening. So if you're in a booming industry, people get into a habit. They've got business. Business is coming in all the time. So it's harder to get someone to change when they've got business coming in all the time. Sometimes you need some pain to actually force businesses to change. So that's one reason. The other reason is tourism attracts people who are not technology focused. Tourism attracts people who are guest focused, who are human to human, and rightly so. That's their business.
Absolutely.
You have to look after customers. And it's a rare person who is guest focused and really looks after customers and can have that technology, process, engineering type background in it. It's not impossible, and many companies have mastered it by building bigger teams, but we by default are not technologists or engineers. Therefore we tend to look after the guest, and both of those things that I've just said makes the adoption in tourism slower than other industries.
This is gold, I think. In this moment, is this moment different from other digital shifts that you have seen in your career? I mean, the AI moment.
I believe so. I mean, people can argue over this point. I was around pre-internet, so I've seen the internet come and what that did. Then we had the mobile shift. Social shift was a big shift. Cloud. Again, I can remember back in 2004, 2005, all the travel companies arguing, we'll never use cloud, we're going to keep these servers. Like that argument went on for 2-3 years, we're going to keep this in our office, we have to control it. I put all my businesses on the cloud in 2005, 2006. It was obvious to me that that was where it is going to go. So we've seen some fundamental shifts in travel. I don't think any of them compare to what's going to happen with AI. AI will be bigger than the internet. I don't believe that AI is hyped. I believe AI is completely underhyped on its potential for changing society. Why do I say that? I've never experienced, no one else on the planet has experienced something that is going to end up being 10x, 50x, possibly 100x more intelligent than a human being. So what does that mean? Well, look at what humans have built over the last couple of 100 years, and we've only been building stuff for a couple of 100 years, really. And from a technology point of view, agricultural revolution, industrial revolution, we've had a couple of 100 years. Just look round at us and see what we've built, and then ask yourself, what if that was 100x? Because this intelligence is going to end up 100x more intelligent than us. I think that's fundamentally different from anything anybody's experienced, and I think it will bring in a period of abundance for the world, with a lot of pain on the journey. But we're going to end up with abundance for the world.
Excellent. Let's talk honestly about what's working. So the travel brands think AI is like magic pill or magic tool, but without strategy, it creates more noise. What happens when brands rush into it without a plan?
It's like everything. If you rush in without a plan, you're going to. Well, having said that, back to leisure travel, my style of leisure travel, take all the commodities out, this basic stuff that I need. I like to do leisure travel without a plan. I like to spend time wandering about because I've got time. But if you do business without a plan, you're going to spend a lot of time wandering about, probably spend some money, certainly spend a lot of time, probably get a lot of frustration, and then probably think this AI stuff's never going to work for you. So strategy is everything. You cannot go into this and think it's going to completely revolutionize your business. It's not. That's the straightforward thing. It is not for most existing businesses who have been around 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's going to change your business, but it's not going to revolutionize it overnight. There's a fundamental reason for that. You're not going to change your whole business. You're not going to become an AI first business in the next 6 months to 12 months, because it's really hard to have that mindset to do that when you've had 15, 20 years of building a business in a set way. But you've got to have a plan, you've got to have a strategy, and that takes effort and that takes time. Certainly the leadership, if whatever the company is, the leadership's going to have to get themselves educated. You can't just make this stuff up. You're going to get educated. You're going to watch stuff, read stuff, speak to people who are kind of fey with it. But without a decent strategy, and everybody's strategy is going to be different for all the different sectors, what you're trying to achieve. But without a plan, it's just a mess. And I've seen lots of companies failing already, rushing too quickly without a plan, and it's been messy and expensive.
Yeah. That leads to another question connected. AI adoption often comes top down, but not only AI, any adoption. But the real shift must start bottom up, as we talked earlier. What do you see on the ground with the staff and with the teams happening in this term?
Yeah, it's not going to work top down, so just don't try and force it on your company or on your people, because it won't work. It rarely does. Any technology forced on the people top down rarely works, but this one especially will not work if you force it on people. You've got to bring the people along. When you hear, I get approached by companies, can you come in and help with AI strategy? I ask them a whole range of questions about their current technology, nothing to do with AI, and how their adoption of current technology is as it stands today. And for many small and medium-sized businesses, their current adoption of technology and use of technology is quite weak without AI. And therefore, that's a signal to me bringing in AI is going to be quite difficult if you're already weak at the current situation. But the way I treat to get adoption is you've got to give it a 3 to 6 month period in every company where the people in that company, from the most junior to people who are doing the middle management jobs all the way at the leadership, commit to using AI tools on a daily basis. And when I say use them for every single thing you're doing. Like all the time, have that mindset, can I use AI to help this? You don't, whatever your screensaver is, becomes ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever tool, Claude, whatever tools you want to use. You have to get people using on a daily basis, because they will discover by using that this stuff is transformative. If you use it 5 minutes a day or every third day, you're going to do nothing. You're just working about costing the planet energy and money, and you're not going to do anything. You've got to use it on a constant basis and keep asking that question. Can this make it better? Can this make it better? You've got weeks and months of doing that. The simple stuff, the content, the making videos, the making images, the marketing content, helping you with emails, some efficiency, all of that simple stuff. But then you can get people who are non-technical into building things that they often have to go to IT or their SaaS providers and say, we need this. It's now very easy for no-code building to build simple tools in businesses. And once you've got teams doing that for 3 to 6 months, the leadership knows they've got a strong base then of being able to come up with a strategy for the business that will engage the people because they've seen the power of this, and they will all go forward together. If you just try and force it down them, or bring in consultants to try and force them down them, people are scared of this stuff, so it'll just be a mess.
Excellent. Next question is also related to this topic, and many people fear AI, as you mentioned already in this answer, especially job loss. Yeah. So what's your advice for leaders trying to move forward without losing their teams? It's connected with the previous questions, but also related to.
You got to be honest. And there's a lot of people out there spinning a lot of nonsense and telling people a lot of nonsense, but you got to be honest. Has AI the power to reduce jobs? Of course it has, and in every single sector. But some sectors much more so than other sectors. Right? If you're a taxi driver in the USA, you haven't got jobs. And I've been out to San Francisco. I've used autonomous vehicles. Like, taxi drivers ain't going to exist going forward in many places in the world. So there's some jobs that are definitely going to go. But then you've got to ask yourself, if you're a leadership in the leadership team, if I've got an individual in my business who's now 10 times more productive, do I remove 9 people and save some money? Or do I keep 9 people and get them all 10 times more productive? Now, for some businesses, I don't have the answer to that. For some businesses, cost reduction will be their aim. They want to improve the margins, they'll take the cost reduction down. And that's just a reality. In every single industrial revolution we've ever had, jobs have been cut and jobs have been created. But if you're looking to build a fast-growing, bigger business, it strikes me I would want 10 people being 10 times more productive than 1 person being 10 times more productive. So for all the talk of cutting jobs, I would say in certain businesses, depending on what you want to do, there's the opportunity to create jobs. You're just going to create really, really good, powerful people who are much more capable in their job. As always in life, it will be a complete and utter mixture. And I can guarantee you the media and the bullshit will all focus on the job losses, which there will be thousands of, because in many sectors, if you're in machine factories or warehouses where robotics is going to take off, their jobs are going to get wiped. Of course they are. But in travel, do I want less people or do I want all my people 10 times more productive? I know which way I'm leaning.
This is amazing advice, amazing and real world advice. Let's get practical a little bit also. Even before we were practical, it's if a small or mid-sized travel brand wants to start using AI the right way, what's the very first thing they should do, by your opinion, experience?
It all comes to leadership, and every company's got leaders, and there is no democratic company where everybody's got the same say. Some of them say they have, but they haven't. It comes from leadership. The leadership have to get off the backside and get educated about this stuff quickly. If it means taking a week off or 2 weeks off and going deep, they have to do it. They have to watch a lot of videos, they have to read a lot of books. They have to get into this stuff because it's going to change the business, whether they change the business or whether it's changed from the outside. So the leadership has to go deep and then make a decision and a plan on what they're going to do. Then, as I said before, they have to bring their teams with them. That's stage one and stage two. And you don't need to go all out for complete transformation. Once you've got teams trained on this, it can be little efficiency gains. Right? And AI isn't all about efficiency. I've got a saying where you've got tactical AI and strategic AI. Tactical AI is efficiency gains. That individual becoming more productive because I can put out more itineraries. I was putting out 3 itineraries a day and now I'm putting out 25 itineraries a day. That's efficiency gains. Everybody tends to focus on that, and there is nothing wrong with that. That is the learning journey that companies have to go through. All of these things, every single process can be enhanced and be made more efficient. So the business becomes more efficient. But is that a strategic advantage? Not really, because if every other company's doing it, some will be doing it at the same speed as you, some of them will be ahead of you, and some of them will be behind you. But it's just like when we adopted the internet. It's an advantage for the early movers, but soon everybody catches up. So that's tactical use of AI. Strategic use of AI is when you decide how is it fundamentally going to change my business and how can I grow my business on the back of AI, not just by being efficient. How can I change my product? How am I going to change my engagement with my customers? This is a fundamental shift. Now, that doesn't happen overnight. You've got to get the business using these tools to be more efficient first, but the leadership has to be thinking strategic. How are we going to use AI to strategically change this business? And it isn't about efficiency. It's about new products. It's about new services. It's about engaging with your customers in a better way. That doesn't happen straight away. That takes deep thought and testing and building.
This is amazing, pure gold from your side. What tools or workflows do you see working, not perfectly, but realistically in 2025?
All the big players, whatever. I mean, I don't have a preference on any of the big players, LLMs, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Grok, Perplexity, Chinese ones, DeepSeek, Manus I particularly like, but I haven't got a preference for any of them. All of them, every travel company should be using a paid version of them because it's more than worth whatever dollars you're paying for it. These things are gold. So everybody should be getting used to them. And then for the technologies amongst us listening, you can API into them. They can start building things off the back of them. Get a little bit deeper and you start building tools. Cursor is a great tool to build in conjunction with Claude if you're building simple tools. So those are at the top level. And I do think it's important people use these tools at the top level because some of these tools are going to go very, very deep into travel unintentionally. Gemini, ChatGPT, they're going to come into the travel vertical. They are in the travel vertical and they're going to keep coming down, not because they have a business plan to go deep in travel. It's a byproduct of making their product more intelligent. Back to 10x intelligence, 100x intelligence. As this thing gets more intelligent, by default, it goes into every vertical. So all of those tools are in our industry by default, not by planning. No one's got a plan to take over travel yet, but because of the level of intelligence, they're coming in. Therefore, you want to be where your potential friend is or your potential enemy. We don't know what they are at that point. Then when you get under a layer underneath that, you get all the things that people are building for travel, all the new apps, all the new platforms, all the new AI tools that have been built in this space. Some ones I'll give a shout out to. Sherpa Travel, which I don't know well, but I do know they grew. They're a company that specialises in helping people get visas. Travel, as much as more people are travelling, getting visas is getting more difficult for much of the world, for the developing world certainly. Sherpa Travel grew last year 5x in a year. Their head count grew 3%. So 1 year using AI tools, so stunning, pretty well established business, not a complete startup, but a stunning job from that leadership team there. There's a couple of other larger businesses, Mindtrip and Data Era, who I know quite well. They're at the high scale end. They're going to, and they are integrating with the airlines, with the big hotel groups. So they're building the complete new application layer, orchestration layer for AI to be able to intertwine with all the databases from the whole system. And I see both of those two probably going to be breakout companies in the sector. They will be true agent to agent. So that stuff I was saying at the moment, it's frustrating. I can't get my bookings done yet. These guys are building the stuff that the agent will actually complete the hotel booking for me, or the flight booking. In my world of tours and experiences, Tora, which is building AI guided solutions, actually taking humans on guided. You've had self-talking guides for years, but having an AI guide is a completely different experience. You're interacting with it, not just being talking to. So I've seen some of their solutions in action. That's quite good. An Israeli company, Excite, is doing fantastic work in museums about bringing museum artifacts and exhibitions to life in an AI world by introducing video and again being able to interrogate it. So there's a lot of companies at the middle layers, at the smaller layers, who will transform travel as well. But I'm mainly concerned with these big guys, because I think they're going to go so far down our vertical, they're going to wipe out a lot of the middle layers.
Yes, excellent. It's connected also with the previous question. Do you have any examples specifically from Tourpreneur, your community, or your consulting that shows the shift in motion right now?
Yeah, we've got the Tourpreneur community, which is just hitting 20,000 operators, multi-day operators and day tour operators, combined revenues of 5 billion. I would still say it's less than 10 to 15% who are using AI really effective in there. Everybody's still at that experimenting stage, which is great, because last year when I was ranting on at them, virtually there was only 1% experimenting. So we've got a few more experimenting now, but we've got some who are doing really great work. A lot of them on the efficiency and the process side, which is great, because that's stage one. They're actually transforming their back. And you've got to remember, a lot of these small businesses, the owners and the operators are often with customers 6-8 hours a day. So a lot of the work's getting done at night. So a lot of them are transforming their processes, itinerary building, getting to customers. Speed is the killer application in today's world. Everybody's got zero patience. So these things are allowing them to engage with customers much, much faster. But we're also seeing some at the strategic level where they're designing new products. One, but I won't shout out the name, but I know one who's designing a complete new product by an AI guide that's at quite a high price point. Whereas everybody thinking this is going to take price down, and it will in many cases. We've got people building completely new products. There's the other thing in my world of tours, it's not AI or human. There's the combination of AI and human. So a tour operator may be able to do 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 customers a year. But if you build AI experiences, suddenly you can do another 500,000 customers a year on top of it without using any more guides. So back to that pyramid of the cream and your really good stuff at the top with the high margin and the high value, but you can suddenly start scaling like you've never been able to scale before as a tour, because scaling a tour operation to 500 cities is incredibly difficult. There's only a few companies ever managed it, but now you can maybe have human guided in 10 cities and AI guided in another 100.
Yes, excellent. There are some questions. If we have a couple of minutes, we can
Sure.
try to. I mean, you can try to
reply to the comments. Ignacio said, what do you with the collaborators reluctant to adopt AI tools usage, allegedly because they've been too complex?
It is complex, and we're humans. We're built by default to take the simple and make it complex.
I just want to say to the audience, now you can ask questions if you like, and then we will answer if we manage it all. If not, we will answer afterwards on the LinkedIn Live. So you can continue.
Yeah. The first thing I say, be honest. We have a habit as humans of making things complex. I spend all my days trying to take complex things and make them as simple as possible and put them in simple language that people can understand. But things are complex, and we have technology companies selling into travel companies all the time that makes things complex. And your question there is people are saying they're too complex because they're not comfortable. Right? If people are not comfortable with what they're doing and really buy in and believe in what they're doing, what's the easy get out? It's too complex. In some cases it is. It's been sold wrong, it's been introduced wrong. So some cases it has been too complex. But a lot of the time this is a pushback, because remember when everybody, you won't remember, I won't remember. It wasn't that long ago everybody was going about with horses. I am sure when the 4T came along, everybody was saying that's far too complex, it's got an engine, it's far too complex. But within 15 years, there was no horses and everybody was on engines. So again, I keep saying this is leadership. This is when leaders need to stand up, have a plan, and be willing to communicate the truth.
Excellent. There is another one. Clara said, could you talk sustainable travel versus AI? There is still big effect on AI in terms of carbon footprint, but we also have opportunities in finding more sustainable ways of travel because there is an easy access through AI. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, so I've got quite a strong opinion on this. I've got quite a strong opinion on most things. So sustainable travel is just not going to happen currently. All the projects, all of the stuff that's running, every single bit of data, I engage with experts on it who I really respect for the work they're doing on a weekly, if not monthly basis. And it's just not happening. We've got 2 billion new travellers coming down in the next 25 years on top of what we're already doing. I told you about all the airports being built. Sustainable travel is not happening, right? We're not changing habits. It's not going to happen. The only way it's going to happen is because of AI. So AI is negative to sustainability in the short term because it's using up so much energy. But you've got to think through that. If we're going to get 10x intelligence or 100x intelligence, 100x intelligence is going to give us free energy. Maybe 10x intelligence is going to give us free energy. We're going to discover how to get free fusion, and we've already got free energy if we just cover all the wastelands with solar, cover all the windy places so we've already more or less got free energy if we just build. AI is going to give us free energy, but AI is going to use a lot of energy to get there. So if you're wanting sustainability in travel, we have to go on the AI journey because the evidence of everything else we're doing proves that doesn't work. Every single sustainability thing that's ever been said or ever been done has never been met, and it's made no difference. The world is less sustainable tomorrow than it was yesterday, and gets that every day. That's just a fact. And I'm not one for banging my head on a wall, which it's just going to give me a sore head. So let's go all in on the thing that can actually change this, which is get cheap, free, sustainable energy, and then travel will become more sustainable.
Yeah, hopefully the world leaders will hear you about this issue. So there is another one, and we will finish for this session. David says, how do you see AI addressing the issues of over-tourism? This is a great question. More constructively than tourist tax.
This is hard.
This is hard, yeah.
This is hard. Well, everything's hard. Anything worth doing is hard, but this is really worth doing. If we can solve this, this is great, because I just pointed out 2 billion extra travellers are coming down. So if you think we have over-tourism now, Jesus, what's coming is 10 times worse. I worry about this because I'm not convinced AI has the solutions to this, because AI can obviously via tools direct people to other places so the really busy sites become less busy and people go to other places. That's a bit idealistic. That's a bit like tourism people saying that's what we want to happen. We'll just build the tools and the customers will do that. I'm a bit more realistic. Someone who's never seen the Eiffel Tower, who has never been to Barcelona, wants to go to see the Eiffel Tower or wants to go to Barcelona. So these iconic sites tend to suck in people. And just because we build fancy tools and fancy ways of guiding them to other places, are the masses of tourists actually going to do that? I have doubts on that. I have human nature. I have serious doubts on this. So I think AI can help in this for sure. Is it going to solve it when you've got 2 billion extra coming? No. No one wants price to be the guiding thing. No one wants people to be priced out of traveling. Traveling's the best education you get in the world. I think this country is my 149th, 150th country I've been in. It's been the best education I've ever had, is traveling, meeting people from different cultures, different nature, and finding out how they live. No one should be stopped from doing that. But I have a bad feeling with this extra volume of travel coming, price and cost will be the thing that's used to reduce the numbers.
Excellent. This is pure gold. Before we wrap up, what would be the one takeaway you would love everyone here present to remember after today? Just one take.
One take is, there's tools on the internet, you can download them to measure your time. You should be measuring your time on screens and internet as well. And the objective is to spend less time, not more time, because it dulls your brain spending too much time on screens. But measure your time on AI tools, right? And if you're spending 5 days a week on AI tools, you're probably not got a job going forward. So measure, if your job is in front of a screen for any period of your week, measure how much time you're using AI tools. To give you an example, 2 and a bit years ago, my time on Google was a lot. My time on Google has reduced 80% odd. I don't go to Google for virtually anything now. I use Gemini for some testing. So measure your time on AI tools. You will see a correspondence as your time on AI tools goes up on your productivity. You will see a direct correspondence on your output of the work you're doing with the more you learn on those tools. And get off Facebook and stop socializing with all the other. And if you're on TikTok, definitely get off that. That's a disease.
Yeah, but it also provides business opportunities.
It does, but it drives travel, but it's a disease and it wastes your brain.
Yeah, I agree. So for all of you who are watching in this session was helpful, feel free to connect with Peter and me here directly on LinkedIn. And also at the end, I have created, since I'm in AI content production and strategies, something that can help you to start using AI in your content without feeling overwhelmed. It's called 100 AI Prompts for Travel Brands. And you can get it just simply DM me 100 AI prompts. And I will send you, actually, you need your name and email only, and it's free. It's designed to help you create smarter and faster content with AI. All you need is, as I said, your name and address. So thank you for being here. Thank you again, Peter, for your time, for your precious insights and your precious knowledge and experience while here on your AI-powered trip. And we'll see you next time on AI Tourism Talks. Take care.
Thanks everyone for attending. Thank you.
Bye-bye.